So let's take this down. Hey, we're hunting antelope this week, Forbes Outfitting, just outside of Kaycee, Wyoming. We got Dennis Hepp and Mose, and my boy Ian and I are both hunting antelope. We've got a really good buck spotted over this hill. We're going to try to ease in and take a look at him, get a good close look. Well, how are we going to get Ian set up for a shot so he's got lots of time? I think he's good to 500-600 yards, pretty easy.
500-600? That shouldn't be doable, you know.
Give him lots of time.
Right where they are, they're kind of headed out that flat. I just circle around, get above them, and just sneak in there where they don't know we're there, and we should have all the time in the world.
Cool. I like it.
Let's go get it done.
Dennis, I'm going to pack your big heavy tripod.
You ready to shoot, Ian?
Yeah. Ready to shoot.
Which one do you want?
Big one. You finding them, buddy?
Yep.
Okay, he's a pro at this. You're taking your job over.
What's that?
He's a pro at this. He's gonna be taking your job over.
Yeah. Well, I think we can just move on up and get another shot at him. What are you guys thinking?
Yeah. Sounds fine.
They just fed right over that knob. We're gonna move up, get a little further away from the road here. We're 5 miles off the road, but we're right next to the interstate, so we hiked a long ways to get just barely off the road.
What is that hill?
768.
750?
You can do that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we can. I think they're headed that way.
Why don't you pick out a spot to get set up, and we're, just in case they pop up on that face, we'll have a shot there.
We'll get a good solid rest and get her done at 750. That would be perfect.
Where are you shooting from? Let's get down there and get going.
$770.
That's what I'm getting, just 768. 13.3. Are you on and steady, bud?
Yep.
Ready?
You got him.
Got him.
Oh, good hit, buddy.
And
He's running.
Not very far. Look at him go down.
wait.
He's down.
Oh, he tumbled
Good
right
job,
out
Ian. Good shot. Perfect.
there. Good job, buddy. You see the shot? You just put it right through the middle of him?
Got right behind the shoulder.
Hey, now usually we try for that shoulder spot so they drop right there, buddy.
Perfect.
Good job. So I was still calling no wind when you shot. Is that what you're seeing in the Mirage?
Yeah, it looked good.
Yeah, pretty good.
Good.
Good job, bud. 770?
Yeah, 770.
770. Nice shot, buddy. All right. Let's see your gun. Get in there.
Shoot, yeah. Congratulations, Ian.
Oh yeah. Nice heavy goat. Look at that mass up on top there. Yeah, he's the little narrower one that was tall with the good forks on it. That little European action going on right there. So, looks like the shot was good.
Look at that perfect shot. Told you.
Good deal, buddy.
Betcha. Look at that mass above that cutter. That's good. That's a good goat.
Nice.
How big, yeah?
Tell these boys thanks for putting you on a good goat.
Yeah, thanks.
You bet.
He's on it. You can bring it close if you want to.
Yeah. Perfect.
It's all over the place. We're out here on the edge. First shot, 25-mile-an-hour wind. Tell you what, that's a tough shot. On this week's Tough Shot, we had a viewer email in a request asking just how far we felt comfortable shooting offhand. We don't really recommend that, and if you watch our shows, we're always getting on a bipod or using some shooting sticks. But really, it brought up a good question. Just how far can you take a shot offhand at game animals? Now, I don't really recommend it. If I can't sit down or use a pair of sticks or have a good rest, I'm probably going to pass that shot. But let's find out just how far we can shoot offhand and still be comfortable. What's going to make it harder today is we've got a real stiff wind at our backs here, kind of right at 3 o'clock. So it's going to be a little tougher on the wind, because not only are we going to be moving because we don't have a good rest, but that wind's going to be gusting and blowing us around. So it's going to be a little tougher. I've got some targets. I've got one at 150 yards. I've got one at 300 yards, 500 yards, and then we put a bonus target out there at right at 1,000. Aaron bet me a steak dinner I couldn't hit it, so we're going to give that a shot too. Just put the earmuffs on. We'll go right to 150. And hopefully I can hit it. See what we can do. Now I don't practice shooting this way, so don't critique me on my technique or anything like that. This is new to me. In fact, I very seldom have shot this way. Dead center, 150 yards. Pretty lucky. I was pretty shaky. Let's put another one in, go out to 300, see if we can do the same thing. Way off. Hit to the right, it looked like. Let's go out to 500. A little low, right below it. Well, that goes to show, I think 150, 200 yards, I'm pretty confident. I mean, that you could get on that smaller plate. It's just a foot by a foot plate, and hit it pretty reliable. 300, man, that's pushing it, just kind of all over it. Maybe if it wasn't so windy, definitely not at 500 yards. I mean, offhand at 500, that's just for play. Just for giggles, let's give that go out there at 1,000, see if we can't win a steak dinner. That's pretty close. Let's try one more. I was holding about 4 minutes of wind. It's about 40 inches of drift, and we got a 10-12 mile an hour wind here. We'll try one more. We can always edit that one out. Tell Aaron I hit it on the first go. I couldn't tell. I think that might have hit it. Try one more just for fun. The thing is when we bet steak dinners, Aaron always makes me take him to a fancy place, and when he takes me, we go down to the $5 steak plate. So I gotta win this thing. Well, that's 3 shots at 1,000, and I'm not even coming close. That wind's just really blowing me around. I can't even hold within 2 targets of that piece of steel out there. I think it goes to show, though, that an offhand shot at 100 or 200 yards is probably doable. You get to 3, the margin of error is bigger and bigger, all the way out to 5. I just think there's no way, or it shouldn't happen. If you've got a shot like that, you better just find a different place to shoot from. We appreciate the viewer emailing us that idea. It was good to come try that. It is tough. It's really tough to shoot offhand, especially in some windy conditions. We've decided that we'd like your suggestions on some tough shots. Caldwell, one of our great sponsors, has donated some product that we can give away for some good ideas on some tough shots. If you have one and we use it on this segment, we'll send you some of this free gear that Caldwell set us up with. You can email your ideas to toughshot@gunwerks.com. I'm Mike Davidson with Gunwerks, and that was a tough shot.
On today's long range university segment, we want to talk a little bit about shot presentation. Now, we're talking about in the field, in a hunting situation, looking for that ideal shot presentation that gives us the highest hit probability. And that shot presentation is broadside. Now, a broadside animal is going to give us the most allowable error in our wind dope. Left and right, it's going to give us the greatest kill zone. Now, the wind becomes the biggest factor when you start shooting at the 6, 7, 8, 900 yard ranges. Wind is much more significant than drop correction. You got a good rangefinder, good scope, and a good rifle. Drop's easy. Wind is the big factor. So we're looking for that broadside shot. Now, if you have a shot presentation that's quartering, that significantly reduces that vital zone. It significantly reduces the amount of error that we can have in our wind dope. That means you need to be super confident in your ability to dope the wind, or perhaps it's a shot that is that's in a no-wind condition. So if it's broadside, we can take those shots and inside of our practice and inside of our known errors. But if it's quartering, it reduces our effective distance, it reduces our ability to shoot in the wind, but it doesn't mean that we can't take the shot. Just make sure that you're confident in your ability on that wind. Now, when we're talking about animals and shooting in the field, one of the most important things that we understand is flight time of the bullet. If you're shooting at 800 to 1,000 yards with our hunting cartridges, we're talking about 1 second to 1.5 seconds of flight time. Now, an animal can make a lot of moves in 1.5 seconds. You might be aiming at the shoulder, but by the time the bullet gets there, it could be in a completely different spot. So it's really important to understand that flight time and start analyzing an animal's body language and analyze how an animal behaves, you know, when he's by himself out feeding in a pasture or a meadow. If he's feeding, generally you can find that opportunity where he stops, he's stationary, he gives you that perfect broadside presentation and gives you that great big vital zone that gives you a lot of margin of error on your wind dope. So that's really important to analyze that body language. Another aspect is grouped body language. We need to watch animals when they're grouped together. We need to be aware that the behavior and the body language could be different. You've got multiple animals in a group. We need to make sure we don't have a pass-through. If you got a pass-through, you're probably going to fill out 2 tags or maybe fill out a ticket from the game warden. So it's important to understand what's behind your target so that if the bullet does pass through, it doesn't take 2 animals. So wait for the animal to clear. Another aspect is if the animal is interacting with others, that feeding routine might be interrupted. That anticipated 5 to 10 second window of stationary target might not be the same. So pay attention to multiple animals together and the differences in body language. Now the last thing that I want to talk about is more a mental responsibility on our part to be prepared to walk away from a shot that's not ideal. And a lot of the times when we get in hunting situations, we try to force a shot, and from lots of different reasons. One could be the animal's just a monster. It's a humongous, once in a lifetime trophy. It's 787 yards, the light's failing, and he's going over a ridge, he's not quite stopping, you've got a big wind and you haven't had time to analyze the different wind currents. It might be tempting to try to force that shot and take that shot because we're attached to that set of antlers. We want to take it home with us. When you're setting yourself up to shoot long range, it's important that you're willing to walk away from a shot that you're not supremely confident in making, that you haven't had the time to sit down and map out and determine all the different factors so that when you pull that trigger, it puts the bullet exactly where you expected. So don't get attached to the shot because it's big animals. Don't get attached to the shot because you need to hurry up and get done and go home, or because the light's fading. Make sure mentally you're prepared to walk away from the shot, and that's our ethical responsibility so that we can put those shots exactly where we want. How far?
16-1.
What's your wind on?
10 right now.
Doe coming up there. Good job, Aaron.
Got a little scope action on that. Holding just a little too much wind. You called it 10. Held 4 minutes. Looks like we held about 2 minutes too much. Should have been shooting for about a 5.
He's done.
Right in the middle of the body, right up by the spine.
Yeah. No, he hit that good vein in his back. He's done. All right. That was
Cool.
good.
He does look good.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. That's what we were seeing up there, was those suckers just kicking out the
Flared
side
out.
like that.
Yeah.
Now if we would have waited another 15-20 minutes, the wind just dies completely. That makes that an easy shot. Well, we did a really excellent tip on shot presentation, and then we showed you a hunting segment where I made a mistake. I was attached to the shot and I tried to force a shot that wasn't perfect. And it resulted in a misplacement. We dropped the animal in its tracks, but it did take a follow-up shot. I analyzed what I did. Anytime I make a mistake, I focus a lot on what was the cause of that mistake. What root cause analysis? Why did I miss that shot? Was it a problem with wind dope? We got to reviewing the footage, and wind dope was perfect. What happened was I misread the body language. I wanted that shot.
It was late in the evening. If we were successful, then we're going home happy. It was a good-looking buck. We looked over a lot of bucks, and this one sparked my excitement. So I had a couple things going there where I wanted to take that antelope, and I forced the shot. The antelope was broadside. I was ready. I was lined up, and I was anticipating that doe passing in front of him. And instead of passing in front of him, and I was trying to force the bullet in there before she made it, when she walked up behind him, he took a step out. He wasn't going to let her pass him. He was going to lead out, and that's right when I broke my shot. And instead of putting it right through the front shoulder, it was right through the back hams. But for me, the goal in the field is to prove the gear and to prove that the practice is perfect. And if I make a mistake, then for me that's a failure. And hopefully with the right practice and the right understanding of the different situations, I'm not going to make that mistake again. And hopefully you've learned something from this episode, and your ethos and your ethics will be such that you also strive for that one-shot kill.
Hunting apparel for long-range pursuit provided by Sitka and Kinatrek Boots of Montana. License applications made through Cabela's Tags. Brought to you by Gunwerks, G7 Optics, Night Force, Hornady, and Caldwell Shooting Supplies.